he came running down the court, starting at the baseline. He came up, and on this end line over, on the sideline over here, he collapsed at just about center court.
Knowledge and training made all the difference during a life-threatening situation at a local basketball game. When someone suffers a heart attack, every second counts. Would you know what to do? News 4's Mike Syka has more on this remarkable story.
Here's the setup. You ref at high school basketball games, and you collapse due to a heart attack. So when you first see the person that saved your life after standing at the brink of death, well, I think this speaks for itself.
Oh my God. Last thing I remember was walking into the locker room to get dressed. And then the next thing was waking up upstairs in ICU.
When Mr. Martek collapsed during a game between Mount Mercy and Christian Central this past Friday night, he was more than lucky.
The death rate associated with what Mr. Martek had is very high. Only less than 5% of the people actually live. And fortunately, he is alive, and she saved him.
It was instinct that sent athletic trainer Melissa Hudecki springing across the basketball court to help Jim.
I was just on the bleachers over here as he came running down the court, starting at the baseline. He came up, and on this end line over, on the sideline over here, he collapsed at just about center court.
As with any emergency situation like this, timing is everything. And luckily, Mount Mercy Academy had an automatic electronic defibrillator in place, something that is not required of Catholic and private schools.
After about 2 cycles of CPR, the AED was ready to use, had the pads in place, and the rest is kind of history.
Jim has had his bouts with heart disease before, and as cardiologist pointed out, someone doesn't necessarily have to fit into the overweight, unfit mold to be a candidate for a heart attack.
You know, unfortunately, some of the problem is his family history and the genetics that are associated with Mr. Martek. So even though he's fit and he is quite active, unfortunately, he does have bad arteries.
Thursday at Mount Mercy Hospital, Jim began the first day of the rest of his life.
Bye now.
Coming up at 6, Dr. Wall will comment on what he believes is the most important thing that saved Jim's life. Mike Syka, News 4 at 5.